Good morning. It's the 22nd Sunday in Ordinary Time. From Jeremiah. You duped me, O Lord, and I let myself be duped. You were too strong for me, and you triumphed. All the day I'm an object of laughter. Everyone mocks me. Whenever I speak, I must cry out. Violence and outrage is my message. The word of the Lord has brought me derision and reproach all the day. I say to myself, I will not mention him. I will speak in his name no more. But then it becomes like fire burning in my heart. Imprisoned in my bones, I grow weary, holding it in. I cannot endure it. The word of the Lord. From Romans. I urge you, brothers and sisters, by the mercies of God, to offer your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and pleasing to God, your spiritual worship. Do not conform yourselves to this age, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind, that you may discern what is the will of God, what is good and pleasing and perfect. The word of the Lord. The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. Jesus began to show his disciples that he must go to Jerusalem and suffer greatly from the elders, the chief priests, and the scribes, and be killed, and on the third day be raised. Then Peter took Jesus aside, began to rebuke him. God forbid, Lord, no such thing shall ever happen to you. He turned and said to Peter, Get behind me, Satan. You are an obstacle to me. You are thinking not as God does, but as human beings do. Then Jesus said to his disciples, Whoever wishes to come after me must deny himself, take up his cross, and follow me. For whoever wishes to save his life will lose it. Whoever loses his life for my sake will find it. What profit would there be for one to gain the whole world and forfeit his life? Or what can one give in exchange for his life? For the Son of Man will come with his angels in his Father's glory. Then he will repay all according to his conduct. The word of the Lord. After reading last week's gospel of Jesus' question, Who do you say that I am? And Peter's response, we come to Jesus saying to Peter, Get behind me, Satan. It's not the Satan you and I think of, with the pitchfork and the long horns. But it's like the Satan of the literature or the past, what we used to know as a devil's advocate, someone who gives an opposite side of an issue. This happened when Jesus told his disciples he would go to Jerusalem and die. Who are the people in our lives, the Peters, the Satans, or the things in our lives that keep us from being who we're supposed to be, from being the best we can be? Jesus understood the type of Messiah that had to come, one that needed to die and rise from the dead. The notion of Messiah in Jesus' day was a leader who would come and defeat the Romans, bring independence to the Israeli people. That was not God's notion of a Messiah. Jeremiah in the first reading knows he must speak God's word despite his being persecuted for his preaching. But preach he must do. This is what Jesus spoke of regarding losing one's life in order to discover it, or denying oneself without the light of the cross. The cross is different, people, for each one of us. For some, it's a personal cross, physical or mental pain. For others, it's the cross of seeing loved ones hurt or struggle with life. It could also be the cross of losing friends because we do not give in to what this world sees as important. We see the purpose of our lives and how we treat others. It is in this treatment of others that Jesus reminds us we're to love others as we love ourselves. Life is not about our financial or material successes, even though that's important to us. It's about loving and forgiving and sharing and caring and mercy and compassion. In the words of St. Francis de Sales, the measure of our love is to love without measure. Man is given a football ticket to his favorite team, goes to the stadium. He's in the nosebleed section, way up on top. He says, this isn't any good. He uses his binoculars to find a better seat. He sees one on the 50-yard line and runs down there. A little out of breath, he sits down, turns to the man next to him. He says, I can't believe this seat is open. The man says to him, it was my wife's seat. She and I bought these tickets when we were married. We never missed a game for over 35 years. He says, why isn't your wife here? He said, she passed away a few days ago. The man says, I'm so sorry. He says, why didn't you invite another person in? He says, I can't. They're all at the funeral. Have a good Labor Day weekend, everyone. God bless.